Okay, for the second part of this video, you should have a short list of the materials you're going to need for this view. I'm going to kind of review how we're going to get some upholstery from Herman Miller, and then also some materials like hard surfaces from Steelcase. For our final project, we're going to let you kind of swap back and forth for whatever kind of palette you find in these that you like. You can also obviously make your own custom ones. Again, like with SketchUp, they're going to be a little bit harder to make sure they repeat correctly if they're upholstery, but in general, like for your carpet and flooring, you will be making your own custom ones from, like actual manufacturers of like carpet tiles and things like that. As I get into this, if you find that your directory does not match mine or you're missing things, what you need to do is pause and go back to the class Moodle and find final project materials and families, scroll down, and you're going to need to download or possibly reload the Herman Miller libraries and also the Steelcase one. If you run into some issues, definitely let me know and I'm happy to help you troubleshoot it. But it's going to be critical that they are stored in the correct folder for Revit to basically access them correctly when it's rendering. Okay, so that's how that works. So, and there's going to be another thing we're going to kind of go over too. So let me jump back to Revit. All right, so what I want to do to load materials is I'm going to first go over to manage and then pick materials. And it'll take a second to come up. Let's see. Okay, so what we want to do here is, first of all, notice how like bit wide and big my kind of the sort of the boxes here. So what happens is if I'm kind of playing with it here, if you kind of hold down with your mouse and stretch, try to make this as big as you can so you can see everything. The other thing you might notice is I have this area here. If you don't see that, it's because this little set of arrows is pointing up. So let me show you what that looks like. So there they are pointing up, they've disappeared. You want to press on them so they're pointing down. And so you can see this part of basically what Revit is doing with libraries here. All right, so what we first want to do is take a look at the Herman Miller ones. So if you go over here to it's like a little yellow folder with like I guess a wrench, you're going to left click on that and say open existing library. And in my case, I'm kind of randomly in a folder that I'm sort of like was last working in. So what you want to do is, let me just kind of, I'll tab over and show you this guy here. All right, this is going to always be on our Moodle. The file location for your material libraries is this. I'm going to read it out as we do it, but I keep this here on the Moodle so you can find it nice and quick and easy because this is where your libraries live. All right, so back over to Revit. Let's see, here we go. Okay. So the way we're going to get to this, and it differs a little bit depending on your laptop. Most people, if you go to My Computer, you'll find your C drive. Some of you, it might be the name of the brand of your computer too. This is, again, the guts of your laptop. So in my case, my D is my USB, that like big fuzzy thing. So we're going to click on C drive. We're going to go to Program Files 86. Then we're going to go to Common Files, then Autodesk Shared, and then Materials. And this is where Revit is going to go to find all its libraries. So right now, in my kind of main directory here, here's all the Herman Miller ones. So it's these white files with, this is the file type. It's basically library is what it means there. The Steelcase one is inside the Steelcase folder. So we'll do that next. So Herman Miller has so much upholstery that they actually had to break it out into 3 different libraries. It kind of correlates to price and quality. So like the 7 to 14 are sort of the more luxury stuff. So you're going to find like leather and suede in there. So a couple people did go looking in there because they wanted that look. 1 through 3, some of these might be like the back mesh of like a task chair. Again, it's a little bit less of a cost for material. So we were using this 4 through 6. But before we go anywhere, they also have a hard surface library. So that's like plastics and wood and metals and things like that too. But like I said, they have quite a lot of upholstery. Steelcase is going to have some also. So I'll show you that later. But for now, what we did in class is we used this category 4 through 6. So you just double click on it and it's going to open it up down here. Now, if yours looks different from mine, it could be the way you have this section set up. So left click on this little part that looks like kind of a bulleted list. The default that I have set up for mine is right now, here's the library where we have open and are looking at 4 through 6. I have it on list view. I have it sorted by name, and I also have a thumbnail that's 32 by 32. You can play with these, but for me, when I work in this, I like to have the picture. Sometimes you can see the color pretty good on my monitor right now. Everything looks pretty dark, but has the names here too, which is, you know, very helpful because they're named like crayons. They're going to be pretty obvious what some of these colors are. In class, we were using this Noble one because it's a nice kind of sort of solid, pretty colorful kind of upholstery. So I was using that as an example. However, I think I've loaded so many of these now that when I demo it, it might not be obvious. So I'm going to try loading, let's see, this Mercer one. I've not played with this before, so I just want to see what happens with this. So for example, if I want to load this acai berry, I guess, I think it's a red berry. You're gonna click up this up arrow right here. All right, so see how, oh, it's purple. That's kind of nice. Oh, it's just my sweater. So right away, because I have not yet loaded this family or library, there's this red kind of error message. So it understands that it's purple, but there's no texture to this upholstery, which is a problem because we want it to render like upholstery. So we're going to click on that that name right there, which says JPEG. So you're going to left click on it once. Now, what you have to do is now navigate over to the Herman Miller materials. So double click on that. Don't do anything else now. Actually, just hit open and it's going to link it to it. So see what happened is it was able to find the picture of the texture of that fabric. Now, before we go anywhere too, you want to click on graphics and you want to make sure you use render appearance because when we render it, we want it to pull this picture, not just the purple. So you can use this material, or if you want to go back and instead use Noble, I have a lot of Noble already loaded just because they visually they're pretty easy to work with. But I'll go ahead and do another one in this this Mercer, I think. Is that what it did? Yeah. All right. So now that it's found its picture, it actually should be pretty good about kind of loading it again for me. So for another reason, let me try chutney, just have something different. We did a lot of pesto in class the other day. So we're going to click chutney, the up arrow, and see there, it's all good to go. It found its image. If it didn't, again, you would left click on that and just say open. Oh, one thing I forgot to do. All right, so we want to pick user render appearance. I want to hit apply. And I realized I might not have done that with the purple one. So we'll go back and check on that guy in a second. So we'll go ahead and click on that. Oh, wait, let's see. There's a guy. It looks like it's okay. So I'm going to play for now with these two, like this chutney and this berry one, just so you can kind of see what's happening. So we'll say, okay. All right. So now I'm going to start with, I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to pick this kind of like piece of my modular couch here now too. And I apologize. My battery's dying. So the color's kind of coming in and out, but we're going to click on that. Now, if you don't see your properties open here on the left, you want to go over to view. Under user interface, make sure properties is clicked because you need to have that up to kind of work through this. Now, most of us in class found that, particularly for the Steelcase furniture, that the material finish information was right here in properties. So if it is already, that's great. For whatever reason, the original Steelcase of this had the space material and orange crush. We can later on go back and load that in and just pick Steelcase if we want. But right now we're just kind of playing with Herman Miller. So we're going to click on the name of the fabric, then click on those three little dots. That's going to jump us to our material library. Oh, there's a space. See how it's trying to find the space, but it's missing. So I'm instead going to go to that berry one. So I'm just literally going to type in the word berry and we'll see how quick that comes up. Sometimes it takes a little bit. You can also sort it by up here by fabric, but it's not always an exact science. All right, there's the berry. Great. All right, so I'm going to say okay. And then we'll click over here somewhere in space and we'll see if that purple got added to the top. Yep. Oh, there it is. Great. All right, so there's the berry on top. I'm going to put that crazy orange on the bottom just so you can see it. Not that I would suggest those colors together, but so here it is here. There's this orange. Oh, well, they already have an orange on here, but we're going to click those little dots again. And right now, again, one of the things I can do is, I think it was what, chutney, so C-H-U-T-N-E-Y. It's also where it's going to be helpful to somewhere on your computer have a list of some of these names, so you're not kind of hunting forever. So it's still scrolling. We'll see where there it is there. All right, we'll say okay. All right, and then it should be purple on the top, orange on the bottom. And I kind of keep clicking out over here on my floor. All right, so one of the nice things about Revit, where if you're playing with this and you decide, you know what, that orange is kind of hideous, what you can do is I've clicked on the piece of furniture again. I can kind of hover over this, the name of the purple one. So, oops, I kind of got to get it. And then do Control-C to get the whole name. And then instead I can kind of click in here, whoops, hold on, and basically delete it out. There it goes, delete it out, and then Control-V to paste, say apply, and it'll make the whole thing purple now. So that's a nice quick trick of kind of editing a lot of things quickly. So if I wanted all of these to be purple, so example, we'll click on this guy now, and there's that space and orange crush. So I'm going to just say Control-V for the purple and Control-V here and apply. And now I've got it all purple. All right. So again, this is a pretty forgiving way to edit these. Let me see what this guy does. This guy might be more complicated over here. So we're going to click on him. So here it's got all these different pieces going on. So all of these different pieces, some of them are upholstery. So it says right there, seat upholstery. So let's see if we can kind of fill it in here. Category. So maybe we want to make it, I don't know, let's make the chutney now. So we'll say, okay. And okay, come on. There we go. Let's see if we can see it show up here. Oh yeah, so it made the whole seat that, but this is a more complicated piece. So in the real world, when you go to order this, you've got to decide all these pieces. So some of these are going to be like the plastic and metal and things like that. So some of this is steel case. So let's go and try to find some of this now. So if I like the idea of having this thing be platinum metallic, let me click on that. So here it is here. And I guess it's working okay. So we don't, it's kind of this ugly putty color. It's not very exciting. So if I wanted to bring in new steel case stuff, so now I'm going to demo how to do steel case stuff. We're going to go over here and say open existing. Oops, hold on. Sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong one. There it goes. Open existing. There, sorry. All right. It should be popping up. All right, so when I opened that up, it kind of bounced me back into like the Herman Miller folder. So instead, I'm going to go back to materials. And then this time I want to look at Steelcase. So here's the Steelcase library here. So if I click on that and I say open, it's going to load it down here. Now, the nice thing with Steelcase is it's going to have it divvied up by what the material is. So if I click here on Steelcase material, and I click on that tiny little triangle, here it's got it. I can work my way through what kind of a finish or material it is. So say, for example, I think we had like a laminate there. And so here's like some different color laminates other than that kind of just, blah kind of tan. So let's see if there's something kind of funky we can put in there just to see a color better. Let's see, I know some of these colors are awful with that orange. Just trying to see if there's something more fun. We'll do this pearl, the Liberty Red Glossy, that'll show up. All right, so we're going to do the up arrow here. And this one's pretty easy because it's just a paint. So it's a painted laminate. There's not a picture to find. So I'm going to say apply and okay. And then let's see, pause. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so let's see. So I changed it right there to the shell. So let's see what it looks like, what the heck I did to this chair. I don't see red yet. Do you see it? Let's see. All right, let's see where else we can maybe put the red in. There's a work surface. Let's see, go click on that. That's that little tray. What was it? Liberty something. So let's put that in Liberty. And there it is there. So I'm going to say, okay. And let's see if it comes up there. Oh, there it is red. Okay. So let's just take a minute now and kind of run this through Enscape just to see the changes so we can kind of like evaluate if things are coming in well. So we're going to hit start on that. Okay, so here we are in Enscape now, and you can see as I'm starting to basically color this in, this material's coming in. So I'll zoom way in. That's the purple. It is pretty dark. Like to me, it's coming through almost like a black or brown. So I might want to check out on that. That could just be what's happening with my lighting. And again, it's rendering it correctly. This looks like it's coming in pretty good, like the fabric there. Sorry, I'm kind of zooming around. Let me zoom in. Oh, I see. There's the red there. Remember when I wasn't sure where it colored in? It turns out it's probably the bottom of the seat. So like the material's got that chutney color. The little tray is now that like ruby red. So this is what you're going to do is basically you're going to work your way through and kind of color by number. We did this in class really just to practice on our project one. And like I said, for the final project, you're not going to just do this randomly. You're going to have a mood board again that like Anthony and I will like, you know, okay you on. So we'll already have like a color palette for your upholstery, the different materials you want for desks. And again, like we're going to pay attention to things like the wood trim on here. So like if this were a project that I was going to present, I'd go back and recolor all this. Let me just show you some of that really quickly because there's sometimes places where it's not so obvious where color is. So here's that door now. And if you notice, if I scroll through here, you're not seeing any material or finish information. But if I click on edit type, this is where it all is. It's here's all the material here. So it's coming in with cherry wood, which I don't really want. I want whatever this lighter wood is. I'm going to go back, check what my lighter wood is here, and then change it over in this door. But again, the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to double click on that, or click once, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to type in quick wood and just see what comes up that's a little bit lighter. Because again, that cherry is coming out really red and I don't like that at all. All right, so here's all my woods in my model. One of the things we want to watch is some of this wood is flooring. I mean, it's going to be panels, it's going to be in stripes. Some of this wood is actually like the wood that we're going to see in furniture. I think this sash is maybe what I've used already. So let's see how that looks, because that looks a little bit lighter. So I can actually now just copy and paste that. So I can go Control C, Control V, apply. Let's see what that looks like, if that gets it lighter for us. A little bit. I don't know. I'm not like, it looks like there's still some red coming through there. So sometimes some of these objects, we're going to have to kind of drill down in a little bit. And let's see, let's click edit type again. So yeah, we'll kind of play with that. Like I might go back and change this. But this will be another layer of where you're going to have to do some detective work of where some of this information is hidden. Let's see what's happening with the desk there too. So if I click on the desk, same thing. There's not any of the finish information here under properties, but if I go by edit type, this is where it all is now. So it's all got this laminate linen, which is this like white creamy color, which, you know, it's kind of boring. So I probably want to like punch the color up on that a little bit. And that, again, click on it. And this is where you want to already have your color palette figured out. So you can now reload something in. Put this like in, well, that's not really the right one. So plastics are going to have this circular shape. That's how you're going to know it's plastic. And again, I'll work with you on this. Anthony and I are going to work with you on it. For now, I'll kind of just cancel out. So I'm going to start up the next video where we're going to go over just a few little quirks that we need to edit to along the way.